This is Aaron Greenberg. I lead the Xbox Games marketing team. I'm very excited to be talking with the Party Chat podcast on the Xbox One subreddit.
Xbox On.
Game on, baby! Wow! Let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Xbox One Party Chat, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit. I am this week's host, Ross, and I don't know why I said it like that, and I'm joined by not your favourite uncle, it's Rhys.
Yeah, hi. I was like this close to impersonating Clay, but I let it slide.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea, to be honest.
Each week, we cover the top submitted posts over on the Xbox One subreddit.
Congratulations to Clay, who just hit, 51 episodes? He's over 50 on
he's got his 1 year birthday coming up very soon, Clay, and we may or may not have a surprise for you.
So anyway, we've not got one, but two amazing interviews for you this week. So first up, Rhys.
First up this week is a little indie developer from the UK called Three Fields Entertainment. And these guys are very special because they are made up of the ex-founders of Criterion, who made the Burnout series. So let's get Three Fields on the pod.
Xbox Snap this week's interview.
Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's interview. We have a very special set of guests this week. We actually have two people on the podcast. We've got Alex Ward and Christopher Roberts, and they are the guys from Three Fields Entertainment who just recently released Dangerous Golf onto the Xbox One. Say hi, guys.
Hiya.
Hi. So people may not have heard of your company or know who you are, so how about you explain to us who you are, what you've done, and a little bit about yourselves?
I'm Alex Ward. I'm creative director and one of the founders of Three Fields Entertainment. We're a small indie developer of 11 people based in Petersfield in Hampshire in England. And we've just released Dangerous Golf for Xbox One, PC and PlayStation. Before that, for 13 years, from 2000 to 2013, I was creative director of Criterion Games in Guildford. And I worked on and started games you might have heard of, such as Burnout 1, 2, 3, Takedown, Revenge, Burnout Paradise, Black, and Need for Speed Hot Pursuit.
Nice. And Chris?
Yeah, I'm a game designer at Three Fields Entertainment, and I joined Alex. I think I was the third member on the Burnout team, and I worked on Burnout 1, 2, 3, and Revenge. And then I left Criterion for a little while, floated around EA for a bit, and then I came back and I worked on Need for Speed Most Wanted, and Need for Speed Rivals. And then I got fed up with the whole big company vibe, and I joined Alex at Three Fields Entertainment, and I've never enjoyed games more than I do now.
Brilliant. So, tell us a little bit about your game. Now, the name Dangerous Golf is a little bit ambiguous, so basically just tell us what it's all about for those who haven't played.
So we wanted to do something new. Obviously, we made driving games for a long time. We wanted to do something new, and we quit our jobs at Electronic Arts, a group of us, in 2013. And in February 2014, we founded Three Fields Entertainment. And we wanted to do something different, and we wanted to make an arcade game. So we tried to look. We're big fans, obviously, all our stuff. We've been big influenced by arcade games. We wanted to make something that was fun, that had co-op play-in, that you could play against your friends with. We wanted to do something that had big physics in and big explosions. And it was just a fun game that would put a smile on your face. So I think the day we formed the company, obviously everyone looks at you and say, what are we going to do? So I walked in and said, let's make Dangerous Golf and set the ball on fire. It's crash mode with a golf ball, and that's what we did.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because basically golf games are traditionally
Rubbish.
I dare to say it, or rubbish, boring.
That's why we did it. We used to say the same about car games in 1999, to be honest.
True.
Golf, like I said, we started off with a very simple proposition, which we told a lot of people. Golf's boring. golf games are boring, and golf games that are made for golfers. Well, golf games are boring, golfers are boring, and golf games made for golfers are boring. And I believe I've played video games for a long, long time, and I always believe that I'm not a sports fan at all. I don't watch any sport, but I'll play sport video games as long as it's a fun game. As long as it's a fun two-player game, you can have a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't know the rules of American football, but I used to play Super Bowl on Commodore 64 in about 1986 by Ocean. If it's a good game, if it's a fun game, I'll play it. I don't really play Frisbee, but I like Windjammers on Neo Geo. So you can make a good game out of anything, really. So golf, we suddenly thought it's ripe for the taking, just like we used to think about car games. We thought they're a bit slow, they're dull, and they don't really do anything. But if you look at when Hollywood puts golf in a film, which is very rarely, they normally feature trick shots. They normally, feature. You only see golf on the news when someone's playing out of a tree or knocking it out of a lake or something like that. And when you see golf films, they're very irreverent. And that's films like Happy Gilmore, Tin Cup, or Caddyshack, if you're old enough to have seen that with Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, and Chevy Chase. So it has to be about fun and excitement. So you can't do that outdoors because that'd just be really dull. And again, golf as a sport, there's a lot of rules to it. So, NBA Jam was an incredible basketball game years ago. It was the first arcade game with $1 billion in quarters. And it was a game where your trainers caught fire and you can do outrageous dunks. So we just thought, let's cross Crash Mode with NBA Jam and put the two things together where the ball's going to catch on fire. And it's going to be about destruction, and it's going to be about high scores, and it's going to be about beating your friends, and it's not going to be about, funny, obscure controls like a swing meter. And golf, if we go to pick it up, we could boot up, I don't know, Rory McDonald McIlroy Golf 2028XX.
No, you'll have to remove a few features first.
If it's in the game, it's in last year's game. We could play a golf game, and the reason you don't play them live is because you hand it to your friend. You've got to know something about golf, right? Whether you're using a 9-iron or a 3-wood, or it's a par. Start off, it's a par 3, and you don't know what the controls are, so you screw it up, and you're 10 over on the straight away, and then you go to putt it, and it's really hard, and they draw up a grid, and you don't understand what it means, and you finish the first hole, and you've got 18 to go, and you've already lost. You've just already lost. So if you're into golf and your friend isn't, you're just kind of knackered, and it just takes a long time. So we didn't want to do any of that, but we figured that golf, what you've got to do. You've got to put a ball in the hole. So we thought we'll put it indoors. We'll make it about destruction. We'll play for score, and we'll just make something that you can pick up and play that's got a bit of our DNA in it, which is probably silly in jokes and explosions.
I was about to say, so basically you're saying that the thing that's inherently wrong with golf as a sport is a lack of explosions.
Lack of explosions and trick shots, really. If you've seen Tin Cup,
break or knock over.
Yeah, if you've seen Tin Cup with Kevin Costner, the highlight of the film is where he bounces the ball off a portable toilet to knock it back. And again, going back to try and answer your question, we founded Three Fields in February 2014, and the month before that, I got Netflix for the first time. I'd just got a PS4, that other machine. Did we just say that? I just got a PS4, and hey, we're all big boys, right?
I joke, we all own one.
And it's the first.
We all own one, yeah.
The first thing I ever saw on Netflix was a movie called The Short Game, which was a Netflix documentary. And it's a documentary that was, I think, produced by Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. And it was about young golfers in the World Cup of 7-year-old golfers. And you should watch it if you have Netflix. See, it's a really, again, inspiring film of these young kids who are very driven, and they belt the ball really hard in slow motion. And
great slow motion.
Yeah. Great slow motion stuff.
So what they've actually perfected how to move slowly and hit the ball, or is it a camera trick?
I swear to God, it's a camera. A very inspiring movie. So we just thought, let's have a play with it, really. We had to do something. If you're starting your own company and using your own money, you've got to do something you kind of know. So me and Chris and Fiona and Paul Ross, who's one of the directors of the company, we kind of finish each other's sentences, and we know where we've been and what we did and what we couldn't do and stuff. So Chris is the original designer of Crash Mode in Burnout. He started that back in Burnout.
Identify it with you. That way it's familiar in that sense, that it's immediately identifiable what you have to do. So you've hit the nail on the head there. And from playing the game, I picked it up and I knew exactly what I had to do. Just put that ball in the hole.
That's good.
So, perfect.
And explode all the things.
So you mentioned a few people that work there, but how big is the team now?
So if you've booted the game since our update, there's a picture of us on the title screen. There's 11 of us. So the 3 directors of the company are myself, Fiona Sperry, and Paul Ross. Fiona was the CEO of Criterion. And for a short time, EA Europe from 2000 to, 2013. Paul Ross was the technical director of Criterion. He's the longest serving member that was at Criterion. He joined before myself or Fiona. And we've got a group of us, people come with us who joined us at different times. But myself, Fiona, and Chris are the people that go back to first Burnout, back in 2000, January 2000.
Yeah. Speaking of Burnout, like, how hard was it to make the transition from making, like, you guys are probably, or were, Criterion probably are one of the best developers for racing games in the world. Like, everybody knows that a Criterion racing game is awesome if you like arcade racing. And so, you know, you worked so long on racing games, except that one first-person shooter, Black. What was it like to go from so many years making driving games to explosion golf?
I think, I have to be honest, the question I always think there is, I'm a big Beatles fan. And there's an interview with the Beatles where they said, what's it like now writing songs that you're rich and famous? And he said, I think John Lennon says, we used to sit on a cold bench and now we've got posh cushions to sit on. So it's like, it's exactly the same. I mean, this business is based on fun, but it's pretty much a lot of time sitting around talking, playing games, and then many long months sitting at a PC, building a game and trying to make things work. So it's no different to, I always say it's no different to, making furniture. It's just there's a certain glamour and magic attached to it. If we're making furniture and you came to our office, you'd say, how many chairs are you going to make? We'll say 300, and we've done 3, and you can see how far we've got to go. You make a game, people come and expect to see something finished. And the reality is for a long time, there can't be much to play. So, our past dictated that we wanted to change that. And we believed that in the time that we'd been at Criterion, we'd gone from a small team. Burnout 1 was about 35 people. We'd gone all the way up to the studio. It was about 180 people on Black on PlayStation 2.
Wow.
Then we'd come all the way back down again. We believed that tools and technology had improved massively. Dev kits and things like that were free. Yeah. Engines were free. We didn't want to continue making our own engine and technology anymore. We just wanted to get back to pure game making. So it's very liberating. It's very freeing. We have no development managers or producers in the company. We don't meet. We've built 16,000 playable versions of Dangerous Golf.
PowerPoints.
There's no PowerPoints. There's no asking anyone. Obviously, you work in a big company like we used to do. You have to justify the money, right, all the time, every decision, and you have to get buy-in from lots of groups of people, and that can be very fun, and it can be very challenging, and it can be debilitating, but it can be inspiring, and I always found it quite inspiring. But we just wanted to get back to making games, like it was when we started Burnout in 2000. We just wanted to get back to a group of us in a room in an open plan office where everybody hears everything, and we just get on with it, and we just make a game, and you just try and make it better. And do things that if we think it's fun and if we can make you laugh, then we've done our job, you know.
Well, yeah, that's a really cool sentiment, you know, because like I've been speaking to a lot of like really famous like old school sort of developers, for example, Brian Fargo and David Braben, and they've been around in the game forever, and both of them have expressed almost the exact same sentiment to me. Both of them went to Kickstarter because they were sick of having to supplicate to the big publishers, you know, to get the game made that they wanted to make.
Sure.
You know, Brian wanted to make Wasteland and the new Torment game, and David wanted to make the new Elite game, and no one wanted that in the publisher side of things, so they went to Kickstarter. And I actually just wanted to ask, like, why didn't you guys go down that road? Like, why did you choose to to sort of, do it this way? Was there a particular reason you didn't want to try crowdfunding, or you just didn't need it?
The directors of the company pooled their life savings to start the company, and
oh wow, really?
So three of us. Well, so for the start of us for the first year, so three of us. So I haven't earned a penny since 2013 now. So three of us have worked for nothing and continue to do so, supported by our wives and families. Phil Maguire, our brilliant programmer, who was responsible for, amongst other things, rolling mop buckets in dangerous golf. He gave to start the company. He gave us a year of his time for free also. We just wanted to get on with it. We believed in ourselves. It's like forming a band, right? If you can play the instruments and you believe you can sing the song, you don't have to put your hand out. So we've spent our money. I'll put all my life savings into the company to hire guys like Chris and Alex Veal and Fong and Johnny Gust and Kickstarter. Honest answer, don't really know anything about it. Emily came onto Reddit 7 days ago. We've just been really busy for a long time making video games and doing what we know. So again, who knows? We might do it in the future. I don't know. I don't really know anything about it, and we didn't really have enough time to go reading about it. All I'd seen is that some projects work and other projects fail. So we decided, golf, we were a small team. Let's just build it and see what happens. Either we succeed or we fail,
It's refreshing in this age that people have been relying on crowdfunding just to say, no, I believe in what we're going to do. We're going to invest our own money and our own lives into it. That's actually a rarity nowadays, almost, because
actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I don't personally know anybody else who's certainly not put a game out. I'm not sure there's another game in the UK that's been made in the past couple of years. I mean, we're not millionaires, right? We're not driving yachts and all that stuff, and we're really not. But
Chris Whitsippy was going to say, I've got a yacht, but
you guys can't see this, but we're all on video, and their facial expressions were priceless just then.
Yeah, so we're not. But we put a game out on 3 systems simultaneously on console.
Yeah,
and a lot of indie developers, again, it's if you're small guys, everybody has their own journey, right? But we didn't build something and then sell it to Sony or Microsoft. We didn't want anyone to control our IP. We always felt that way. Back making Burnout 1, 2, and 3, we controlled the IP, Acclaim, and then EA didn't control it. EA only took control of it when they acquired the company. We always controlled our IP, and that's what we believe is the path that developers have to do, because we're the people doing the work.
That's way to make it from us. This game is from us.
This game is us. It's part of our DNA. And again, we didn't have to. We spent our money carefully. There's a lot of everyone made sacrifices along the way. Our families made sacrifices along the way. So that's the choice we decided to do. We believe in ourselves. We believe in our team, and we believe in what we can make. It's not for everyone, but there's nothing we can do about that.
I suppose you could go down. It could be seen almost that you've done the very, very classic route in this sense, because not relying on crowdfunding, not going to Steam Early Access or any of the early access programs, just having a game down. It's almost went full circle to the late 80s of an independent team making a game and just releasing it, isn't it, instead of in stages?
Yeah, although, I don't know. I mean, I've followed games since 81. I mean, pretty much in the UK, at least, it was pretty much, you had to, unless you were, someone like Jeff Minter, one of my heroes, who I sent the game to recently.
Was that a big moment?
He published his own games as Llamasoft. Going through later on, if you wanted to publish on Sega or Nintendo, if you were a talented person in Europe, you had to work for a bigger company that had a development deal with Sega or Nintendo. And development systems used to be £20,000. So it would have been impossible for us to do this until very recently, where we can access world-class engines like Unreal Engine 4 for little to no cost. And we don't, we started in the office on day one with some MacBooks that we all personally owned and, some tablets, because that's what we had. And then I think Microsoft were the first guys to send us dev kits. They sent us dev kits, I think, 14 days after we assembled in the office, which was just fantastic.
Yeah, they've been
Microsoft guys just amazing to us right from the start. Really amazing.
Did you guys meet Agostino Simonetta from the I Need Xbox program?
Dude.
Yeah.
Ago's the best.
Ago is one of our first testers, one of the first people to play the early holes. I think when we had 10 holes built, he came down with Charlie Skilbeck, another Xbox guy, and I think they played for like 3 hours. Probably about a year ago, just before, probably end of May last year. That's when Charlie was Ago and Charlie were the first real testers.
Now, something that my wife and I love to do is couch co-op. Of course, that's something that you've included in it. How important for you was, having couch co-op in the game?
It was really important. I think for me, there's a slightly different thing. Is like playing a game with my kids as well.
Yeah.
Is kind of important. Like I've got an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and being able to play a game that I've made with them, and the way we'd set the game up in the fact that they could go first, make a mess, and then I can sort of do enough to get its progression as I follow up. I mean, that was a lot of work for us. I mean, it's a technical challenge because we had it so player 1 makes a big mess and player 2 gets to play in that mess, and we had to make sure it all lined up. And I think sitting together on the sofa and taking on this task is a lot of fun, and also you can have strategies like, oh, leave me enough stuff for my smash breaker, don't hit that, I'll go for the secret sauce this time, and you clear all the table, and having that dialogue, and watching my 2 kids have that dialogue on something I've made has been one of the most enjoyable things, to be honest with you. And it's really cool, and I think people like to do that, and not many games allow that these days. And I think also the couch co-op and also the couch party play as well, like the pass the pad stuff. I think it is really important, and it's kind of a little bit neglected.
We miss that, and we have fond memories of playing different games like that throughout the years we've been playing games, and we miss it. So it was important to us. We think that if you have kids, and if you work in the games industry and you've got kids, you often can't show your kids the work that you're doing, because the game might not be appropriate for the ages of the children. And all anyone wants to do in the business is come home and share their work and their passion with their family. So to be able to, with our game, we're very proud of the fact that it's E for everybody in America rating and a PEGI 3 in Europe. So it was very deliberate to us that we wanted to destroy, hamburgers and knock down cartons of cereal and stuff, rather than be chopping people's heads off and stabbing people in the heart, because there's enough of that in the world, and there's enough of that in gaming right now.
Yeah.
As we said, rolling mop buckets and breaking up urinals is a neglected part of games. Yeah, with new hardware on the horizon, these problems demand to be solved.
So, actually, I wanted to ask you guys: have you played the Katamari series? Because the Katamari is a bit like your game in reverse. Have you played them?
Yeah. No, I played Katamari. Yeah, that whole
it's
sort
overpriced, obscure, and Japanese. If a game importer's marked the price up by 300%, Christopher's going to walk in and buy it.
Yeah. In my past, I haven't got any money now, so I can't do that. But Katamari, the whole. I think there was something in that game as well. You were making a mess in normal locations. The whole collecting the whole contents of someone's house and attaching weird things, and that's very appealing. And we definitely have that sort of some of those similarities in our appeal, I think. Yeah.
I mean, my girlfriend especially is a huge fan of the Katamari series. It's just something sort of is it lethargic, the word? It's like
cathartic.
It's relaxing.
It's cathartic, yeah.
Cathartic, that's the word. Lethargic is being lazy. See, I speak English.
That's it, sure.
About just like rolling up a whole a house worth of content into a giant ball. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But it's somehow good. And the same thing also applies to smashing an entire house's worth of stuff. And I mean, like, it sort of taps into the very essence of what people do in video games. I mean, like, the first thing that people do when they're presented with stuff is try to break it in a game, like pots in Zelda, So it's kind of cool in that way. But what I want to ask is,
I think what you said there is very, very interesting. when you said it's cathartic, if you think back to when you were very, very small, in the first time you're in a playground, there were many different games that were played, how people played, very many different games, right? They weren't necessarily all based around fighting each other. And whilst some boys played army, and pretended to be a soldier, that was not everybody. There was lots of different fantasy, normally based on what was on television or a cartoon.
Yeah.
But also there's many different types of play. Like you said, it's fun to make a mess. It's fun to build. It's fun to create. It's fun to draw. It's fun to paint. It's fun to sing. It's fun to dance. It's not necessarily about, pushing people over or pretending to acting to kill them. Whereas in gaming, that tends to be the majority at the moment. So there's still, I believe, many untapped areas of gaming still to come. I mean, I'm quite old. I'm 44 years old. I was a, diehard Commodore 64 fan and still am. And I think back to the middle of the 80s when I was a teenager. There was such a wide variety of software. Every week would be new games, a very wide variety of different experiences, from pretending to be a flea to pretending to be a tennis ball to exploring somebody's mind to, being a scavenger in space. There was, every week was a different experience. And I found that very, very exciting. It had a profound effect on me. So I think that we've always been focused on, myself, Chris, and some of the other guys, we've always been focused on a simplicity in some ways. You said people just want to smash stuff up. That's right. It's why we made Burnout. When you watch children play with cars, they smash them together in their hands. If you show children a computer game in which you have to drive around a track very politely, the first thing you want to do is turn around and see if you can go the other way. Crash. If you ever saw Indy 500 on the Amiga, that's
first thing I did, turn around and go the other way.
That's what people do. So we've always tried to make software that's allowing you to do things you wouldn't normally do in real life. So a small movement with your hand gives you a big movement on screen. And there's a limit, like I said, with Dangerous Golf. Chris touched on this earlier. Game worlds are still currently very static. Chris said very early on to us, if you play GTA, everything's nailed down. You walk your house, everything's nailed down. In GTA, you can't pick up a clock radio from your bedroom and throw it at someone's head, right? And in a movie or something, if there was a fight, that's what there would be. So game worlds are very static, and if you can make change, the change is disappeared. It has to mop up. I'm playing Just Cause 3 at the moment, one of my favorite games in many years. I break something and it disappears. I drive my car through a chain link fence. It looks amazing. The chain link fence has to disappear because there's only so many moving parts that can be around you. Gaming is an illusion. Even if you play GTA, around the player at any one time is probably about less than 10 things you can interact with. So we challenged ourselves to think about a game where you could make a mess. So if Burnout was making a mess with a car, what's making a mess? And that's like I said, with a golf ball, I'm playing inside. How can I make a mess? Can we smash up? Where are the things do you want to break? Okay, then, well, how about a Buckingham Palace? That'd be amazing. Somewhere really expensive.
And surround the player with possibility.
Yeah, it's a possibility game. So again, we looked at movies, things are normally, it's a naughty moment in a film when normally the villain is normally rich and the hero is not. And I don't know, if you think about, Beverly Hills Cop as an example. Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley is the underdog policeman. He's found himself in Beverly Hills. So when there's a shootout in the rich guy's mansion, if he puts a bullet through a priceless vase, it's kind of fun for the audience and it's fun for him. And too bad for the villain because he's a rich idiot, right?
Yeah.
That's where we start to think about what's naughty is things that are expensive. So one of the levels had to be the palace. Then again, where else do you want to make a mess? Kitchen. If you left your kids in a kitchen and said, I'll be back in 5 minutes, don't touch anything.
Leave my kids in the kitchen, yeah.
Yeah. You're going to go back in there, you're going to see, flour everywhere, chocolate sauce all over the wall, you get covered in it. So that's why kitchen was another level we had to do. So it kind of went from there. Some things where else would you want to be that if you broke something, you'd probably have to run away? And then supermarket is the next one. Everything is so tidy and neat, it is subconsciously tempting you to break it.
So in the end, we couldn't build the whole supermarket because it'd be massive, right? You'd have all different aisles. So that's why it's a convenience store in a petrol station, because that's a nod to Clerks by Kevin Smith, right? Where they fight Dante and Randall fight in the convenience store and, you know, breaking eggs over people's heads and stuff. It's fun to have a fight in a supermarket. So that's why we did that. So destruction is fun, and we wanted it to feel natural and naughty. Yeah,
that's great. Actually, you basically answered the follow-up question I was going to ask you, sort of flowed right into it. So
it sounds perfectly normal to us on paper, but we are fully aware the game sounds completely insane. So
I think if people just look at the title and haven't watched the gameplay or anything else, it can be hard to get your head around. But when you say who developed it, people just click and get an idea of what it's going to be about.
I think that's how I've sold it to people. It's Crash Mode, but with golf. And
the title comes from, I think, there's a sports club in England called the Dangerous Sports Club.
Yeah.
And it's where you do various dangerous sports. I always thought it was quite fun. I thought it's a fun name. Dangerous and golf, it doesn't go together, right?
No.
Yeah, no, it's great.
It's really...
So, you mentioned earlier, just on a completely different topic, that you just recently came to Reddit. And I typically ask most of our guests, because, you know, we are a Reddit-based podcast, if you have any cool small subreddits that you'd like to browse that no one else might know about.
Yeah, I'm completely anonymous on Reddit. What am I reading at the moment? I think it's quite fantastic. I am reading Everyday Carry, EDC, which is...
What is that?
From what I can see, it's where people post pictures of what they have in what they carry with them all the time, like a wallet. and
I love
American, so it's always a knife, a torch, a bigger knife, pepper spray,
bald eagle,
an iPad, a phone, and a knife. So they're quite good, and it says, like, you know, I'm an IT guy, and I think one guy was getting upvoted because he had 10 operating systems on a USB key. 9 of which I'd never heard of. But that was quite funny. Everyone was like, yes, very nice. Oh, you know, so there's somebody quite paranoid or very well adjusted somewhere walking around who feels the need to have, you know, don't leave the house, kids, unless you've got 10 OSs with you. You never know.
He used to walk about with a toothbrush in his pocket.
Yeah, he used to walk around. You might need to carry an OS with you, so I thought that was quite good. So that's what I've been reading.
What about you, Chris?
So I haven't read it for a while because we've been filing and stuff, but I remember reading it before we got really busy, and one of the things that I was following is there's a whole bunch. I guess I became briefly obsessed with the whole zombie survival guide thing and how you prep for a zombie apocalypse. So I was reading a bunch of subreddits about that, sort of how to prepare your house, and then that led me to the book, the Zombie Survival Guide, which I then read. It was just the insane level of detail and preparation of these people was incredible, and it's something I'm going to go back to see if there's been any updates. But that's one of my lapses, is that I haven't.
Now that we've finished, I'm trying to turn the office back on, turn the office onto Reddit because it's quite fun.
Yeah, exactly. Alex has been like coming in with these mad subreddits he's been looking at, and it's like, okay, need to do that now, because I think when you're filing, you just tend to have these 5 or 6 sites just in front of you that you've got like 5 minutes while you're waiting for a build or something, and you just click. And I think if I click on Reddit, then I might disappear and miss that the build had pinged, or that we're testing it. And so now I've got a little bit more free time and a bit more time to think. So I'm going to dive in, I think.
Yeah, I think one of the best things about Reddit that amuses me the most, apart from the wonderful communities we have, especially the guys from the Xbox One subreddit, is the incredibly specific subreddits. Like there's one that's for pictures of birds with arms photoshopped onto them. I think it's birds with arms. Like those sorts of really weird ones are just amazing.
They're wonderful for me. That sort of thing is great.
I don't think I'm looking at any weird ones. I'm looking at BIFL, which is Buy It for Life, which is quite fascinating discussion about people identifying first-hand experiences of products that you can buy that last a long time, which is great. So it's like, what are the best tools? You know, what are the best brands of tools you can buy, and you know, what are the different things you can do that products that last you your whole life, which I think that is quite a lot of brands and products I've never heard of, but it's quite interesting.
That's quite interesting. I think selling buckets or buckets for sale, I can't remember what it is. That's quite interesting for me.
You a bucket enthusiast?
No, I just can't believe that there's so many bucket enthusiasts. So,
That's excellent.
now,
Check that out.
You mentioned you were talking about recent builds there. Can I just mention your recent update just went out a few days before we recorded here. And guys, congratulations. It's went down really, really well with the fans. And they've basically been saying that you've listened to them all and brought in the stuff that was needed for the game, including the reduction of load times. I think it's down to just a few seconds now. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And it's
I think we sort of, when we were finishing it, we kept getting the load times down and down and down, and that was a great achievement for us. But then we had to finish the game and get it out, and then now when you're looking at the finished whole, it became more clear to us how to achieve that.
Let me just interrupt there. Chris is saying we have to finish the game and get it out. Now, you might hear that a lot if you work at Ubisoft, Electronic Arts, or Activision. We had to finish the game so we had no more money.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So,
guys, I need to eat this game this week. Let's release it.
We only had so much money. We used the life saving, so pretty much run out. So we had to finish and put it out. And to start planning for releasing the game on June the 3rd like we did, that planning starts at the start of the year, So every day in Jan, you have to kind of book that date with Microsoft, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you're getting down to the point where it's like, there's so many things still we have to do because there's only 11 of us, and our company's called 3 Fields because we all do 3 different fields or more. We all do 3 or more jobs, right?
That's clever.
So we were really up against it because we're doing the game on 3 systems all at once, and we'd never done it. We were making a game we'd never made before on hardware we'd never worked on before, using an engine, Unreal Engine 4, which we'd never used before and had no experience of. So again, I think it was coming down to, do we try and make it load quicker, or do we do global leaderboards? And it's like, well, how long is it going to take to do global leaderboards? Don't know, about 3 days. How long is it going to take to make it load quicker? Don't know. So really, it's a big risk because the changes we were making, and we did all our own testing as well, right? So it was something we were aware of that we were going to put, that was on the to-do list. So it's like, we'll put the game out and then we'll make it better. So that's what we did. So we knew that we put the game out, we got a lot of feedback, some good, some bad. And that's what all developers do. You listen to it and you have a look and you kind of do what you can. So we figured some people didn't understand it. So we did training and we called up Ted Stryker at K-Rock and see if he'd help us. And he did it. So we made that, and then we tweaked the controls, made it, one stick control we put in, and then we fixed the stuff where a lot of debris could fall on the board and obscure the camera. So Chris came up with a smash wave and put that in. And then Paul Ross, Alex Veal, and Phil Maguire said, we reckon we can really attack the load times.
Boy, did they.
And they did. So they got it going. But then there were implications. We had to go back and retest everything because there were splats on the wall and stuff. It was a big engineering task for any team, let alone a team of only 11, because we only got 3 programmers,
Yeah, if you imagine the amount of mess that we have, like at the end of a level, and the traditional way of cleaning that all up is to throw it all away and then load it up again. And what the coders did is essentially send in like a super cleaning team that went in, put everything back together and put it all back in the right place in about 2 or 3 seconds.
Wow.
It's
the environment is really easy to reload. A dynamic environment like us with up to 3,500 things all over the floor, it was a bit of a challenge. But they bit into it. They took pretty much had a day off work and then got back into it. And the team, I'm very, very proud of everybody. They worked incredibly hard to get that update done and tested and out to everybody very, very quickly, and that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm having an absolute ball with the game, guys. Sorry for the pun, but I should have said a fireball, shouldn't I? There, or
that's good to hear. We made it to give people a good time, and thank you for noticing what we've done with our changes. Yeah. And thank you for helping us spread the word about our game, because we're a player-supported studio, and we rely on players like you who buy our game to support our studio so we can carry on doing what we love, which is making games. So without you, we wouldn't exist, so we thank you and everybody in your community who's bought the game.
Right, I'm going to move on now to the final question, and this is a question that all the listeners will wait for.
That's the question I'll ask myself on the AMA. Who are the 3 most important people in the world? Never mind.
So what?
Be excellent to one another. That's all I can say.
And party on, dudes.
Oh, I'm never going to get to ask Asama.
I'm stalling for time.
Yeah. Which classic video game character could you knock out with one punch? And I'll give you some context. Major Nelson said Frogger. The Xbox support team said pretty much every animal that's ever been in a video game. It's a bit weird.
The Duck Hunt dog is
Duck Hunt
quite
dog.
popular.
Yeah.
He's
I like the Duck Hunt dog.
Well, a lot of people don't, and he had better watch his back when he walks down the dark alley at night, I think.
He's probably playing Pokemon
I like
Go.
the Duck Hunt dog. He was cool.
He only exists in a bright, sunny field. He'll never be in a dark alley.
Very true.
After you, Christopher.
It's not avoiding the question.
Be excellent to one another. Go on.
There's a video game character, and I don't want to offend anybody, but there's somebody I'd want to punch, and I think that he would probably go down with a single punch. Is Kirby, because it just his ridiculous face offends me slightly. So I would say that Kirby. I think I could take him.
You think you could take Kirby?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's just overrated.
What are we talking, like angry American box art Kirby or happy Japanese box art Kirby?
I would say the angry one. I think was my first point of contact with him. So I think that's probably when the early doors offence started. I would say.
Very nice, very nice. And Alex?
Probably Commander Shepard.
Ooh.
Ooh. You think you'd take Shepard in one punch?
Yeah, probably any of the BioWare characters, really. I think.
Okay.
I don't know if we want to go into this one.
I went Kirby and you go Commander Shepard.
Yeah, it's a bit of a step up, I think.
Kirby, did you mean N64 Kirby, Chris?
Yeah.
From Kirby's Air Ride?
Yeah. Well, most Kirby games, really.
Most Kirby?
Yeah.
No, that's probably not Commander Shepard. Probably the block from Tetris. Does that count?
What one? What shape?
The long one.
What one?
I would punch L shape.
AKA the bar.
I'd go the S. Get rid of the S.
The S. Yeah, no. It's the S shape.
Comes down the side.
Yeah. I like the long one. It's not too bad. But you can take him quite easily. You go quite quickly.
Yeah, you just sort of fall over. Well, guys, that was wow. Those answers. This has been a fantastic interview. Very interesting. Learned a lot of cool stuff. So, where can anybody find you who is interested in learning about your game?
You can visit us on the interwebs at www.threefieldsentertainment.com. You can follow us on Twitter at 3fieldsent, number 3, Fields ENT. And I think Chris on Twitter is at DJ Gandalf 1 million.
1M.
That sounds about right.
Is it the words 1 million or the actual numbers?
No, 1M. It just amused me. I just had this like thing in my head that's like somebody's like, oh, can I be Gandalf? No. How about DJ Gandalf? Damn, that's taken. And then going through till they got to 1 million, and then got DJ Gandalf 1 million. So that just amused me and it's stuff.
I genuinely thought you were taking the mickey with that, so I'm quite surprised to hear that's your actual Twitter.
Oh, no, I don't. That makes me laugh like every day.
That's like the best Twitter name ever.
DJ Gandalf 1 million.
Everyone go and follow DJ Gandalf 1 million right now, and we'll rejoin the rest of the podcast. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Also, guys, don't forget, Three Fields just gave us that amazing interview, but they have an AMA scheduled this Friday. So it's at 10 a.m. EDT. Absolutely come by, check it out, ask the guys any and all the questions that we were too busy fanboying to think of. And yeah, it should be a fun time for everyone. So hopefully we see you then.
Well, guys, you've been waiting for it. It's an interview with the one, the only, Mr. Aaron Greenberg.
Xbox Snap this week's interview.
So hey guys, we've now got a very special guest on. It's Aaron Greenberg. Welcome to Party Chat, Aaron.
It's great to be here. I love the way you pronounce my name. It just sounds better than the way people usually say it.
So, but I just keep on saying Aaron for the whole...
Yeah, would you be up for maybe helping with like my voicemail on my phone or something? I mean, it's just everything with the Scottish accent sounds better.
For a small fee, I'll do anything.
Oh, we've got it. Right.
Well, look, we've got you on to get some questions, but first of all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very, very busy schedule, I imagine, to come and join with the Reddit community.
My pleasure. I'm a regular Reddit reader, and so it's great to join the podcast. And I've actually, as a result of being scheduled on here, I'm adding you guys to my list of podcasts that I listen to. So I'm going to make an effort to check you guys out and listen on a regular basis.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for that. Well, I'm going to get things open with a question. So for anyone who isn't familiar with you, tell us what you do at Xbox and what's a little bit of your history with gaming and the company.
Sure. Yeah, so I've been on Xbox for 16 years, believe it or not. So before we launched the original Xbox. So it's been a fun ride. I currently am the general manager of Xbox Games Marketing. So my team manages what we would refer to as global product marketing for all of both our first-party games, all of our internal studios, and all the exclusive titles that we build with partners, as well as our third-party marketing partnerships. So, working with people like Electronic Arts and Ubisoft, ID at Xbox, basically all games. So whether we make them or a partner makes them, we work with them on the everything from the early work on the first party side, from concept all the way through to announce to launch, and now obviously we do a lot more work post launch as well.
Fantastic.
That's very exciting. So I wanted to ask you. I mean, you guys just announced at E3 the Xbox One S, and I wanted to hear, what's the feedback been on the announcement that was made? And I mean, I just saw recently some news articles that it was already sold out on Amazon, and the pre-orders were sold out. It looks like it's back up again, but for a little bit there, it was already, the pre-orders were sold out. It's got to be some exciting news for you guys.
Yeah, it's always fun to work on projects like that, and hardware obviously has a very long lead time, but then to be able to share it with our fans, see the media response. We were very excited about it internally. We were, I think, in pretty awe of the design and a really kind of fresh and unique approach the team has taken. We saw a lot of the great, benefits. We're really thoughtful about, hey, this is the right time to bring a new model to market. We can bring a lot of great benefits like 4K, Blu-ray player. We can bring 4K, video streaming. We can have the ability to even, up-res your games to 4K. And so in addition to reducing the size by 40%, removing the power brick, which might be my personal favorite thing. And so, it's just a lot of goodness, adding in the IR blaster and just a lot of things we've heard from different feedback. And so, yeah, and the response has been incredible. I think even better than what we could have ever hoped for, both from our fans, but also from our retail partners. They're really, really excited to support Xbox One S. I think you've seen people that are starting to take pre-orders based on initial allocations. We've seen those demand be really strong. You're right. We've heard from a number of partners that have had them sell out. And I would say we haven't announced the official launch date yet. We will be doing that soon. But I expect demand to be really strong, and I would recommend pre-ordering if you want to get one on day one, because I think they're going to go fast, which is great. It's awesome to have a hit product like that, and it's great to see a lot of new people coming into Xbox One. It's great to see a lot of fans that are maybe deciding to upgrade and get a smaller unit, whatever it may be. We're pretty proud of the device, and it's great to see the reaction.
It's awesome. I was going to say, sell me on the Xbox One S, but you already have, and in fact, I'm one of those pre-order people, so I can't tell you. I'm very much looking forward to getting my hands on the S, and I agree. The removal of the power brick is probably one of my favorite features, since I tend to travel a bit, and I'm looking forward to bringing much smaller Xbox One with me on my travels.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And I think the thing that maybe we've heard, an audience we've heard a lot from that maybe surprised us a little bit, is kind of the home theater enthusiasts and people that were out there saying, hey, I'm getting ready to go spend $400 on a 4K Blu-ray player, but this thing is $300 and does 4K Blu-ray plus 4K video, plus gaming, plus all these other benefits. And so it's kind of nice to, be able to hear from some other folks that were excited about it beyond just kind of our typical core audience.
Great.
Well, hey, while we're still on this topic of hardware, can you tell us about some of these awesome exclusive bundles that have just been coming out? We've got the Gears of War and all kinds of other cool stuff. And I just wanted to know if Microsoft seems really focused on customer choices and bundles and customization, like with the design labs that just came out and stuff. So can you tell us a bit about behind that sort of
Sure. Yeah, we're really excited. We actually officially announced today. Of course, you know how the internet works. But we're excited to officially announce today. I don't know when you guys are airing this, but maybe we've revealed that this show is not live.
Yeah.
But we officially announced.
Don't tell anyone.
I'm sorry. The secret's out. Hey, Ross team, I've let you guys down. But we're doing a really, really custom. Perhaps one of the best special edition consoles we've maybe ever done with Gears of War. We have an incredible design team here that's worked really closely with our marketing teams, with the design, with the folks at Coalition, and with actual lasers and fire. They have created a pretty epic and incredible custom Gears of War bundle that not only comes with some pretty neat customization, color, design, literally lasers and claw marks, if you will, built into the hardware, blood sort of dripping all over it, like you would expect with a franchise like Gears, known for its brutality, custom controller. And also includes the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War, which will allow you to play the game 4 days early in advance of launch, and includes kind of all the typical Season Pass stuff built in as well. The 2 terabyte model in U.S. prices is $399, and this version is $449. So for $50 more, you get the $100 version of Gears built in. You get all the customization. As a gamer, it's a pretty incredible value, and I expect we will sell out of every one of these Gears bundles, perhaps before anything else. So very, very excited, and hopefully people like the design and the work that the team did.
Ross, are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know if I can talk anymore. Like Gears Ultimate Edition built in, yeah.
Ross is a huge Gears fan, like the biggest.
I had a cat called Carmine.
Wow,
Emphasis
that's
on the hat.
We've got monster claws. We got fire. We are, and the thing what's nice is that we know that a super Gears fan like you, Ross, kind of person that's going to buy this. Yeah. And I always kind of hate when they do that and they put like the standard edition in there, and you're like, no, I want the Ultimate Edition. I want the Season Pass. I want the early act. I want everything. We made sure that as an Ultimate Gear fan, this is the ultimate bundle, and so hopefully this is what you were hoping for.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. One controller there, the Elite Gears controller on the other side. I'm a happy man.
Yeah, so it's got a custom Crimson Omen controller. It's really, really hot. Yeah, it's exciting to finally share with folks what's involved. And they even put up a little video of the process that they use to make it that shows the lasers and the fire. Every single console, they use lasers to create those claw marks, and it actually burns and creates fire on the console, which is just badass.
Now, talking, of course, Gears was at E3, and I know it was a few weeks ago, but can you give us a rundown on your thoughts in this year's show? Like, what games are you looking most forward to and getting your hands on?
Wow. Well, we've got an incredible lineup of great first-party, exclusives. It starts with Record in September, and I think the ability to invest not only in big AAA franchises like Gears, but also to invest in new IP is something that really makes what we do really fun, and to be able to introduce that and to market those and share that stuff. Working with Inafune-san, obviously a legendary creator over many, many years, and the team at Armature, who are the creators of Metroid Prime, to kind of a dream team working on this new IP. That comes out in September. Great response at E3. I think we had 3 to 4 hours lines of people at E3 just waiting to play the game. Keep in mind, E3 is a trade show, so this isn't even like consumer show. And it was fun. I played the E3 build. It's hard. It's challenging. And it was great. And I think people are really going to really, really like that title. We'll be sharing a lot more of that this summer, and we'll have it playable at a bunch of, key kind of consumer events around the world. Following that, we've got Forza Horizon 3 that comes out later in September, and Playground is building that for us. We've been pretty good about delivering a big AAA Forza release every year. This time we're going down under and integrating Windows 10, integrating co-op, integrating I think, really blowing the game out with a lot more vehicles, a lot more terrain. We have a partnership with Lamborghini on that. As the Centenario, their hot new supercar, is on the cover. You get to drive a Centenario on the beach, which you probably would not do in real life.
Maybe not.
Maybe
not this weekend.
Video games, you could drive cars you could never buy, and then just do crazy stuff with them, and that's the fun thing about Horizon. It gets you off the track, and so that's another big title for us. Those two are definitely high on my list. We know Gears will be the biggest exclusive game this year. Millions and millions of fans will be buying that title. We're seeing a lot of great interest, from our fans. People are really excited that we confirmed and announced Horde 3.0. Horde is back, kind of the game that in many ways pioneered a lot of great cooperative gameplay. Excited to have that back. A whole new saga, having Rod Ferguson and the team of Coalition building that. They're saving a lot of surprises, and so we'll reveal a lot, but we want to, not reveal everything and save some for people to get the game. And then, after that, we've got Dead Rising, which we're publishing as a second-party partner in partnership with Capcom, Dead Rising 4, and bringing Frank back, going back to kind of the original where that started. So those are just the exclusives this holiday. Didn't cover any of the ID titles. We've got Cuphead, we've got Inside we just launched, we've got Below, a number of other, every week we're launching great new ID games. In addition to third-party titles, we're partnering with Battlefield on Battlefield 1, and we have a number of other partnerships with Madden and FIFA and things like that. So EA Access. We've got a lot of games coming if you're an Xbox owner or a new Xbox buyer this holiday.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. Actually, I just got to latch on to something you said a little while back when you said other consumer events. So, Gamescom?
Yes, we're going to Gamescom. In fact, I'm going to Gamescom. I've raised my hand. I've signed up. We're taking a bit of a different approach to Gamescom this year, really focusing on it as a consumer show first and foremost. We know not only do hundreds and thousands of fans go to that, from Germany, but throughout Europe. We're going to be bringing, all of our top games to Gamescom, and I'll be there. We're hosting a fan fest there. We're not doing a media briefing this year. at Gamescom, but we will definitely be, we have a media reception. We'll be doing a lot of gameplay, a lot of interviews, that kind of thing. And we'll be sharing a lot more there about all of our key titles and everything else that's happening at Xbox.
I'm super excited. I'm going to be there, so I'm definitely going to be there for some high fives, Mr. Greenberg.
We should. I'd love to high five. So
yes,
let's plan on that. Maybe we can.
I've already got Larry on the line for one, so that's one hand taken. But the other one's all good.
Nice.
I made it weird.
Awesome. Love it. Yeah. Well, we could do a contest, like a high-fiving challenge or something, and
holy crap!
Anything that I could beat Larry at, you've got my interest. So
okay, this is happening. You hear that, Larry? If you're listening, this is happening.
That's right, Larry. Exactly. Yeah. Then we'll do fist bumps as a follow-up. This will not end. This will not end well for you, Larry Herb.
So Aaron, I wanted to ask you, what type of gamer are you?
Wow, I'm a gamer that works too much, is what I am.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, so, I try to play a little bit of everything. I play a lot of stuff early because we're working with the development teams on them before launch and providing feedback. So, the most recent game I played was Inside, that I played, kind of from beginning to end. And I've always had a special place in my heart for our indie games even from the Xbox Live Arcade days. I helped launch that service with the team back in the day. I love the creation of what happens when a game gets made, and the types of games that the smaller development teams are creating as true artists. Their passion for those, the uniqueness of that, the ideas and creativity that they come up with is just unmatched. And so I think Inside, really is a kind of classic example of a small development team, the guys at Play Dead and in Copenhagen. They have spent years working on just an absolute incredible masterpiece, a true piece of art where it fills the entire screen. It touches your emotions. The audio is perfectly crafted. Every little animation. I could not find a single flaw in that game anywhere. Even when you want to go back and find things, the little red dots that help you find, your progress. I mean, every little was perfect. Yes. I don't think I gave any spoilers yet, did I?
No, you're just frightening me. I haven't played it yet.
Okay. So no spoilers, but I will say, and the beautiful thing is, it is very atmospheric, and so there's no audio, there's no text and dialogue. Sorry. So it's very universal. Anyone in any country, in any language, could play it and have the same experience that I had. Which I just love. And the only thing I'll say is that when the game ends, you'll be thinking about it for a long time. And what is the meaning of that? And, I think people that don't play video games, I kind of, after a game like that, I go, man, I feel for them because they are actually missing out on a true, incredibly touching, impactful piece of art that they just will miss if they actually don't ever play video games that you cannot experience in any other medium.
Wow. Well, while we're on the topic of video games, I wanted to ask about Little Greenberg.
Whoa. It's not that type of podcast. It's not that type of podcast.
Ross.
Come on.
Again with the weird.
So many jokes I could make, but it would end up being a headline on some game site. So I'll restrain from adding humor to your comment.
All the clicks.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what I wanted to ask you was, when did you first get into gaming? What was your first console or first gaming experience? Like the first character you ever connected with that made you the gamer you are today.
Yeah, I think, I had an Atari 2600, so that would have been, the first game console that I had. I had the NES and the SNES or Super Nintendo, and then, I played some PlayStation 1, but wasn't like a big PS1 guy. I was a big Dreamcast guy, and then ended up, kind of being really lucky getting to work on Xbox, and so then I just sort of had everything. But I'd say my roots were more in the kind of, Atari, Nintendo kind of early days, Dreamcast, before, getting into the Xbox and what we created here.
That's super cool.
Now, you are very, very active on Twitter. What's it like interacting with the community on a daily basis there? Yeah, well, Twitter's an incredible tool. For me as a marketer, I really care a lot and deeply about what our fans think, about their feedback and ideas they have, and stuff they love that we're doing, stuff they don't love we're doing, stuff they wished we were doing. And so, to be able to go out to Twitter and interact and engage with them on a daily basis is super helpful for me. And it's great. You form a lot of friendships. You are able to stay connected with a lot of people around the world in a really efficient way. And I get a lot of great ideas. I get a lot of great feedback. People entertain me. They do a lot of funny things with my face sometimes and animations. So thank you for that.
And your beard with Josh Stein.
That is true. Yes. The beard has grown beyond even where it has on myself. So we have fun, and I think that's what really makes Xbox so special, is that we've always had that deep connection with our community from the early days when we were launching Xbox Live. And, I just think about things like your gamer tag, your achievements, and Xbox Live, and, guys like Major Nelson, and, and our connection with the community has always been really deep. And that's something I'm really proud of. And I spend a lot of time as well. And I know Phil Spencer spends a lot of time as well. This is something we do in our free time because it's just built into, our passion and how we connect.
That's how we arranged this.
Major Nelson just walked by my office.
Oh, say hi from us.
Talking about you, by the way. I'm on a podcast interview with the Reddit guys. You're welcome to crash if you want.
Please do.
He's all business, but I was saying,
Ooh!
You're getting food. He's a busy man. So
no high fives
anyway,
for him.
we have
There's
fun.
none. He gets no high fives.
No, exactly. But we have fun. We love what we do. I think we all feel super fortunate to get to work in the games industry, get to create games and hardware and accessories, and build on the live service, and all those things that I kind of talked about are things that I think make us unique. And so it's kind of an honor to get to do that and engage with our fans in that way.
So Aaron, speaking of Phil Spencer there, we've had Major Nelson on. We've now had you on, which we're very excited about. We've even had Josh Steen, not Stein, or is it Stein, not Steen? I always get those confused.
I call him Stein, but I could be getting it wrong.
No. It's all me. On one of our earlier podcasts that we had him on, I butchered his name like 18 times over.
Awesome. He's about 3 feet tall, right?
Oh, yeah. I am jealous of his Gears of War shoes that he now has that I saw.
My team made those, but we finally found a way to make them small enough to fit his feet.
So what I wanted to say was we need your help getting Phil on. And we almost had him there until Rhys just booed him out of the room. So
my bad.
Wow.
Hopefully someday we'll be able to get Phil on.
I actually had lunch with Phil yesterday, and I know you guys have asked to get an interview with him, and I'll just raise my hand and say I will help try to make that happen. I'll tell you, Phil would love to chat with you guys. So I know he's a regular, reader of Reddit, and now you're not too busy.
Who was on the phone?
We got Clay, Ross, Rhys, we got the team.
Ross is on the phone?
Ross is on the phone.
Oh my God. So
I've
done 2 podcast interviews with them, and Ross has ditched me every single time. Hey guys.
Hey, what's going on, Major?
I'm not answering you.
Listen, I realized you guys were on with the great big VIP Aaron Greenberg, and I said I got to stop by. I don't want to take too much of his airtime.
Oh, please.
I've already done that, but it's always good to talk to you guys. And Ross, come on, man. When are we going to talk together, huh?
Never. It's never happening.
I'm going to let you guys have some fun with Aaron. He's the best. Go easy on him, all right?
Hey Larry, we next time we have you on, we want Crazy Larry on, not regular Larry.
Oh my God, we all want Crazy Larry.
Man, I'll give you guys. You guys want a scoop? Here's your Reddit podcast scoop. When we shoot those, I can only shoot them about once every 8 months because they're exhausting, and I have to shoot the script 8 different times and 8 different wardrobe changes, and then by the end of it, I'm just sitting in a corner going because I'm exhausted. So
what you're saying is, if we didn't do the video, then we would get more sales.
I'll tell you, it's crazy. But anyway, all right, you guys have fun with Aaron and Ross. We'll talk later about this.
Yeah, maybe.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you, Major.
That's great. There we go. Even a special guest, unexpected.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll work on Phil, and I know he wants to come on. In fact, he told me that. So we'll just scheduling and while I have a busy job, he has to run the entire Xbox business. Yeah. So, but I'm sure we'll make it happen. It will happen.
Now, Aaron, I do not know how much you've been briefed on the questions that we ask on this podcast, but there is one question that frightens every single one of our guests, and that is, which classic video game character could you knock out with one punch?
Which classic video game?
You want some context? So
yeah, some context. Scooter didn't brief me at all. The guy, he's, no, I'm just kidding. I'm sure he tried to, but it's probably we just didn't get time.
Larry said Frogger.
Ooh.
Yeah. Your entire Xbox support team had various different animals.
I see. I'd take out Rash, I think.
Ooh. Wow, really?
Yeah.
You could take Rash?
I think so. I mean, it feels like a bigger challenge than Frogger.
Yeah, that's true.
You're trying to one up Larry. So, yeah, I'd go for Rash. That'd be my final answer.
Okay.
We'll make sure we add that to the list. I think you're near the top though, because that's quite a hard challenge.
Yeah. Oh no, God, yeah. But you meant just so I understand? Did you mean like I could take? You said with one punch versus not that I could actually beat the game because now
this is happening. You're going to be in a ring.
Got it. Okay.
Right. But anyway, look, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us and answer the questions from the subreddit and from ourselves. But hopefully we'll get to speak to you again in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'd just say, thanks to everybody that contributes to the Xbox One subreddit, and I regularly read that, and there's a lot of great. What I love in particular is people are fair and thoughtful, and I think it's extremely representative of our community and what people are thinking and ideas, and so it's a really healthy place to go read, and I really appreciate that, and look forward to listening more to your guys' show as well.
Thanks a lot. All the mods are super jealous. I know that they're not on here tonight, but they want to say thanks for all your support and for everyone from Xbox for jumping onto our subreddit and actually, talking with us and being a part of the community. We're really happy to have you there.
My pleasure. I look forward to doing this again, and we'll work on Phil Spencer.
Fantastic.
Wow, Rhys, that was amazing.
Wow.
So we
Holy
had
crap.
Aaron
Wow.
Greenberg. We had Phil Spencer, sort of, until you booed him.
Well, yeah. About that, Phil. I regret nothing.
And I'm still holding my guns. I'm never appearing on the same podcast as Major Nelson. But I don't know how we're going to top this for next week. But thank you, everyone, for joining us. Sorry there's no news from the subreddit, but we just had 2 amazing interviews we just had to let you hear. And we'll join you again next week for the next episode of Party Chat and Xbox Off.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
Let's do this.
Well, guys, you've been waiting for it. It's an interview with the one, the only, Mr. Aaron Greenberg. And a little bit of Major thrown in.
And maybe someone else.
Rhys Booze.
Maybe.